Hotspur, we're now on to our third gaffer of the season. So I'm Mr. Sandwich, regular contributor, but I will be hosting this episode today on an interim basis. Don't worry, Mr. Drew will be back, and hopefully I'll do a better job than Igor Tudor did in his brief time at Tottenham. So we will be reviewing the Liverpool versus Crystal Palace game. Also looking forward to the big one this weekend, Liverpool versus Man United, and touch on a few bits as well. And to join me with all of that, I've got Mike this evening.
Yo, good to be here.
Good. We've not been on together for a while, so
I noticed that. Yeah, it's been a while. But yeah, we've got the A team today.
Yeah, we got the A team. There we go. We're all decked out. I don't have my Liverpool flag or hat today, but Mike is well representing in the gear this evening.
Yeah.
So, welcome to all our watchers and listeners on YouTube. Thanks for joining. Send your comments in as we're recording. Let us know your views on all things Liverpool related. And thanks as ever to all of our listeners on whatever platform you're on. Don't forget to share, subscribe, like, give us a review, do all of the above. Share it with your, share it with your dog, share it with your friends, share it with your non-Liverpool fans as well. I've got a few non-Liverpool fans who also enjoy the pod, so shout out to all of them. So we will be talking about Liverpool versus Crystal Palace and what seems like Groundhog Day. Liverpool versus Crystal Palace this season. For the fifth time this season, we played Crystal Palace. But thankfully, there was no Mark Gahey, so that was the sign that this might be our turn to finally get one over on them. So we did play them on Saturday for the fifth time. It finished 3-1 to Liverpool. And we're going to talk about the game. We're going to talk about the performances. We're going to talk about mine and Mike's shared common love of Mo Salah and whether he's played his last game for the club. With weeks running out of the season, we're not sure how long a hamstring injury might keep him out. And we'll also, like I said, be previewing the big one coming up after this. In preparing for this, I forgot we're back to once a week now because Liverpool are out of the Champions League. I'm thinking, right, it's the Champions League week. We'll do a preview during the midweek, but nope, this is all you're getting this week, unless you demand Mr. Drew to make an appearance after the Champions League, which will not be happening. So let's get straight into it, Mike. Let's talk about the game. 3-1, great start. And let's start with the game itself and that first half. So pretty innocuous, to be honest. There wasn't too much happening, but Liverpool still felt a little bit in control, which is good, which is compared to a lot of first halves we've had this season. Talk me through what your impressions were coming into the game. What were you feeling? What were you expecting? And how that first half went up until the first goal.
Yeah, I like the way that you used controlled. It felt like an end of season game. I think it's one of those games where there wasn't too much ride on it. I think Liverpool now kind of consolidated their Champions League qualification for next season. It kind of felt that during the match, in that I felt anxious. There was no drama. It was controlled without being too threatening until we scored. But I was confident of a win. I thought, Palace were due. Let's be fair. Palace were due a beat.
I'm lucky.
And it would have cost Lock his job if he got beaten again by Palace. So I was confident, especially when I saw the lineup. It's quite attacking as well. And I think to a certain degree now, it's almost like the handbrake is off now with Liverpool now, in terms of the way the performances are. We're seeing players, I think, come to the fore now. And I felt that even when it looked in parts that Palace were getting into the game, I just felt that Liverpool had this game kind of, not to say sewn up, but I was quite confident and I thought it was quite comfortable performance. And I think the first goal, in a sense, kind of epitomised that as well. I mean, it was lovely. It was lovely build-up play. Salah doing what Salah does, causing havoc. And one thing I liked about Salah, I don't know if you noticed, the first time he tried to have a go at his fullback, he tried to use pace, which clearly wasn't going to work. And he kind of found out ways, okay, I'm not going to beat him by pace, but then I got 2 or 3 or 4 or 6 or 7 tricks up my sleeve, and he used it to great ability. He used his trickery, used his strength, used his know-how. That caused confusion, ricocheted. Obviously, the shot from McAllister, I don't know where that was going. But this is the difference when you've got a striker up front, not a baller. That first touch there, killed it dead, and a bang in the back of the net before you know it. So, it just set the tone up.
So let's get into that first goal. Like you said, there wasn't too much happening in that first half, but we will talk about the protest as well. We'll talk about that a bit later in the context of everything going on at the club, certainly off the pitch. But 35th minute. McAllister, yeah, it tees up for him. Like you said, there was some good skill from Salah. Yeah, I'll give him that. Do you know what? I'll give Salah his props. I don't know why. We've had our disagreements since about November, but I've got to give Salah his props. Exactly like you said. He's definitely wanting to beat his man. I agree with you that this game, the Fulham a couple of weeks ago, they felt like end of season games. I feel like teams have come to Anfield. They're like, well, we're not playing for much. And ironically, both those teams, their managers are leaving as well. So there's a bit where players are probably like, you know what, managers go in. About half of them probably got a World Cup they're thinking about. So there's not that much coming up. But yes, 35th minute comes up. Like you said, a speculative shot from McAllister. But I actually like that. I need to see McAllister taking more shots on.
Yeah.
And actually, we've seen it at Forest away and a couple other times this season where actually just take a shot. You never know what's going to happen. But he takes the shot. What I really liked, Isak takes it in on his instep. And straight away, the instinct. And that finish, the little bounce to make sure it goes over the keeper as well. Talk me through the technique that you saw from Isak on that shot.
Yeah, definitely. It's that classic striker instinct that we've missed all season, really. And obviously, Hugo's a baller, and he's going to be a huge miss. But I think one thing about Hugo, he's a baller, which I like. But I think you need strikers that have that instinct that, okay, if this ball falls, what am I going to do? And he kind of knew, I think, say 2-3 steps before he knew what he was going to do. The first touch was amazing because that can go anywhere. Exactly. And to kill it dead. And I think the only way he was probably going to beat the goalkeeper is if the ball hit the ground first and then looped over. But yeah, I mean, he didn't do much. I must admit.
Wasn't much else.
But to be fair, that's what you pay strikers to do. To be in the box at the right time, in the right place, and to finish. And that basically it just epitomized what we lacked all season in terms of that kind of clinical finish up front. It just set the tone for the rest of the game, and it kind of put everyone at ease, really. I mean, the sun was shining. You don't want to work too hard in the sun, do you? So that first goal, on the team, it kind of allowed us to almost have that confidence air about us, because really after that goal, we kind of played some nice football there.
Yeah,
we took more control over the game. We looked to threat all over the pitch. And it looked like there was more goals coming, to be fair, after that first goal.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, like you say, that instinct, that killer instinct that you get from a pure 9, that's exactly what we have been missing. Absolutely agree on there. You went on the previous pod where we were discussing Isak, where it's a contrast to the game last week where he had, 2 touches in the first half, Everton away, So, like, you talk about that contrast of the performance of what we saw last week, very laboured, wasn't really involved in the play, 2 touches in 35 minutes to then showing this instinct finish. What do you make of that chalk and cheese?
I think for me, I mean, if you see the runs that Isak makes off the ball, they are exceptional runs. And I thought the criticism that he's gotten recently, especially the last game, if he gets the right service, he scores goals. And I think we're kind of spoiled in terms of the attackers that we've had in the past, where they're involved in the game. They're going deep to get the ball. They're showing trickeries. They're beating players. Isak's not that kind of player. He's probably got that kind of skill set in him, but he's a finisher. He's at the end of the move. You give him the ball in the box or in a goal scoring position, he'll put them away. I think what we saw against Palace was more effort. I'd probably say he probably increased his runs in terms of high intensity runs. But having said that, I still think, as a striker, we don't do enough in terms of feeding our strikers in the right positions. And I like the way that now I think players are starting to realise we've got a striker on the pitch now. We need to kind of think, let's get the ball to him sooner. Because often or not, he's in spaces, he makes runs, which I think is actually beneficial to Liverpool, because other defenders look, okay, where Isak is, they're going to move towards him, which kind of happened for the first goal against Everton. Gapo's fantastic ball to Salah. Isak makes the run through the centre.
Creates the space.
Creates the space. So I get the criticism, and when you cost, the amount of money he's cost, then every match is going to be scrutinised. And if he's not, like you said, putting the miles in, having X amount of touches and not scoring, it's an issue. Haaland hardly ever touches the ball. Scores a considerable amount of goals. So it's only, I think, once we get Isak fit running, and that's why I think the next 4 or 5 games is going to be really interesting. Hopefully he starts every single game, puts a kind of run together, scores a few goals. That'll set him up nicely for the World Cup from next year, really. But for me, I've got no real reservations about Isak. I know his quality, and I know he'll come through. And if we build a team around him with some rapid wingers and a service into him, he will score a bag of goals. We know this.
I think that's it's a good point. I'm last week I was wondering to the rest of the crew whether we'd been Torres. You know, when you signed the striker who you think is you spend a lot of money on him, you know what he can do, but the injuries and you just never get that same player. So hopefully, like you say, and he is going to start. We're going to talk about injuries a bit later, but we're down to the bare bones as it is. So he's going to have to start.
I see it as an opportunity. It's a very sad opportunity because no one wants to see the injury that Hugo's got, and obviously, my blessings with him. Hopefully, he comes back stronger. But now he's got that platform. Now he's going to be our main striker for the foreseeable.
Exactly.
Let's say next year. So now he's got no excuses now. And I think with Isak, he wants that kind of responsibility, that pressure. Not to be a backup or go off the bench or to maybe be in competition. He wants to be the number one.
That's to be the striker.
So I think this could be the making of Isak, really. And there's nothing better, I think, in terms of the window that we had last summer, is that we bought 2 strikers that I think most of the Premier want, if not all. So we need to utilise that now with Isak.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, we had it confirmed and we did expect the worst, but Ekitike will be out for at least the rest of the calendar year, about 8 to 9 months minimum. So we're not going to see him. We're not going to see him this side of Christmas, put it that way. And think about how far away Christmas is. So, like we said, we're wishing the best for him. Hopefully, his recovery. He's young enough to recover from it, and I know that. Those of us that watch the NBA, we've seen Jason Tatum came back in about 8 months, and he's now playing in the playoffs at a very high level. So if we can get that in 8 9 months' time, that would be great for Ekitike. But also, if you follow Ekitike's Instagram, you know that mentally he's got the resolve to get through this. He knows there's going to be hard times, but he's already been posting. He's posted his AI videos of him running on crutches, and the manager said he's not sure if he'll be able to do that yet. But we are wishing Ekitike the best in his recovery. But I agree, Isak now. There's almost nowhere to hide. You're not going to be rotated out. You're going to start every week. We've only got 4 games left. It's once a week. There's no excuse. And actually, we're going to be playing mainly on Sundays now. We've got United, Chelsea, Villa, and the lot. These are big games. Sky are going to put them on the Sunday. So now that you're going to have 1 game a week. But like you said, when the service comes to you, you need to make sure you're taking the opportunities.
Yeah, and he has been, to be fair, and you know me, I love to defend my forward players, my attackers. His stats aren't particularly bad. I know people say, that's his first home goal in the league, I think.
I was going to say, it's his first Premier League. Yep, I've got the stats ready, don't you worry. His first Premier League goal at Anfield. His first goal since December away at Spurs, obviously, because that's when he got injured. But, he's been back about a month, to be fair. And I think that's maybe his 4th or 5th goal in the league overall. So,
yes.
That's where I'm kind of with you. I'm with you that he's Premier League ready. And I think we knew what we were signing. We knew he'd had a little bit of injuries at Newcastle. But like you said, the upside is there. And the contrast you gave, we've seen Haaland, especially against tough teams, where he has 3, 4, 5 touches. But it's about when you get that chance, do you take it? That's what we need to see from Isak. And I think I'm broadly with you. Last week was tough. Last week was tough with 2 touches and didn't have a sniff, but hopefully this week is that contrast of actually this is what we've signed. And I agree with you. Let's get him the service. Let's put him in a position to actually have shots on goal as well.
Yeah, and the only way you're going to get fit, because I know I'll be trying to get him fit. I think for me, we need to start in every game now. That's the only way you're going to get fit. You don't learn to swim by watching someone else swim. You have to be in the pool. So that's why I think with Isak, I think we've kind of he didn't do himself any favors missing preseason. I get that, but I think the program we had in place when he arrived at the club, I don't think was right. I think we kind of rushed him, and then we just left him on the bench. So there wasn't. I don't think there was a proper structured plan for him to get into the first team, and that's probably why he probably broke his leg in the end, really. But it's interesting to see with Isak's stats that when he does score, he scores the first goal.
Yeah,
so that he scores the first goal in most matches, and the goals that he scored, that very instinctive striker finishes that we've missed. So I think his all-round play, yes, it can do with improvement, but if you want an all-round striker that looks good on paper and doesn't score goals, that's Cole Palmer. I don't want a Cole Palmer. Looks nice. I want a player that has maybe 3 or 4 touches but scores 2 goals, and that's Isak when he's fit. So that's what we bought, and we've got other players in the team that can be ballers, that can be tricks, that can do layoffs and touches. His job is specifically be paid to score goals. Once we get a team in the summer, he will deliver. I will put my reputation on that.
Yeah. Oh, there he's gone big. There you go. So Golden Boot next season.
Listen, Golden Boot is up. I think he would definitely score goals. He would definitely score goals. Ask me that question after the summer window, but I've got no qualms over the course of his contract. He will score a bag of goals, 100%. I've got no qualms. He's a finisher. He's a finisher. Yeah. That's 100% what we bought.
Well, I think all LFC fans will definitely agree and hope that you're right, especially for the cost. But if we want to be challenging for the title, we need a 20-25 goal striker up top, just in the league, let alone in other competitions. So yeah, no, hopefully, like you said, let's see. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're going to come to that. But absolutely, 4 more games, start every week, go to the World Cup, and that's your preseason this year. Your preseason is the World Cup. You'll have a bit of a rest, obviously. Well, you never know. Sweden might go all the way. So let me not say that, they're going to be at the not, are they? But you might get, 4, maybe 5 games. I know they've extended it. You might get 5 good, and that's top quality games. This isn't preseason kickabout. So it's top quality games. That must be his preseason. He's going to come back, hit the ground running. I think we're on tour in the USA anyway, as it is. So he's not going to have to. Don't come back to Europe. Just stay there for a bit. Wrexham in Chicago, something like that. So get straight into that, Isak, and hit the ground.
He's had enough rest. Let's be fair.
Yeah. I think he feels that. He probably feels that. He's probably 100 times more frustrated than all of us have been. So he'll be raring to go and want to hit the ground running. So just before we finish out the first half, a couple of minutes later, so on the 41st minute, Palace, again, we were in control, but we have this thing at Liverpool where we're just like last 5 minutes for half. They're thinking about their halftime oranges. They're thinking, right, how many slices of oranges am I going to have at this halftime? But they had a corner and a header from Mateta, which was saved by Freddie Woodman. Talk to me about Freddie Woodman's performance, and then we'll talk about what happened immediately after that.
Yeah, I'm loving it. I'm loving Woodman at the moment. I think literally we needed this kind of story after this season we've had. We needed someone that we can kind of like put on a pedestal and like sing songs for. He's like our song hero now. Actually, Woodman, fantastic save. He made actually quite a few good saves actually.
Quite a few in the game, yeah.
And I think the biggest testament I can play to him about his performance now, that if you're telling me that he started against Man United on Sunday, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Literally, I'm fine with it because that save there for Mateta was fantastic, and not only that, but it led to the second goal. So great save, and two good save. Stopped him from being a goal, but he pushed that out of danger as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So
back into the box, and especially someone like Mateta, he's always there and just gets a touch.
Always there. Yeah. Usually, in other cases, he would have saved it. Would have gone to Salah, for example. He would have, he would have put it in. But it was a fantastic save out of the danger zone. Konate gets it. And again, what I like about Konate, his distribution is improving as well. Plays a nice little ball. I think it was to Verts. A lovely turn on the sixpence.
Yeah.
Feeds it into Jones, runs onto it, and a fantastic through ball to Andy Robertson. And I think the whole stadium was thinking, you know what? Come on, man, get your goal. And the way he finished it there, man, you'd think it was a striker. Where's those goals been, man? I mean, I know
we've needed them.
What, man? When I saw that finish there, I was thinking, man, you've cheated us, man. But it's a fantastic goal and right in the corner. And that's when you knew these 3 points are safe now, because that was the ice on the cake. If you asked me before the game what I would have wanted the Isak goal.
Yeah.
I would have Roberts go, and you know me, I would have Verts Ballon d'Or goal. So I was all happy. I was all happy, man. It was
you're eating well.
Damn right. And like I said, it was almost like the old Liverpool. Yeah. The other team get a
chance. Very top-esque, that counter attack.
Exactly. Yeah. They get a chance. We stop it within 3 passes.
Yeah.
It's a back end of that. Fantastic goal.
Absolutely. And I think, like you said, immediately off that save and clearing the ball, what I liked as well is that the Verts, he did this half turn. He did it against Arsenal as well. He's done it quite a few times, but that half turn that he did, you immediately take out 3 players with that.
Yeah.
The player that's marking you, the player that's covering him, and the player on your inside. You've immediately done that with a half turn.
Yeah.
Look straight up to Curtis Jones, and Curtis Jones, who, we've had this discussion. I know members of this pod, for example, Jazz, have views on whether Curtis Jones should be in the team, but for him to carry that ball with pace, take it forward, and a perfect pass or Andy Robertson. That was a Klopp-esque goal, and for all the talk about Slots, the way we've been playing under him, that was very Klopp-esque. And like you said, that Robertson finish, perfect send-off for Robertson, right? Getting a goal at Anfield in the sunshine, not too many games left at Anfield, and he started as well.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm for me, Robertson kind of epitomizes the beginning of Klopp's era.
Yeah,
It was one of those signings. If it came from Hull, I had low expectations. I think I was even pissed off when we signed him. I was like, "Who's this guy?" He's taking his team down, and now he's coming into Liverpool. Had a slow start, but obviously, I don't need to say what he's done. He's arguably the best left back in our history, and I think him going, it's kind of now almost like this is it now. This is basically going to be Slot's team next season because Robertson's going for me. Obviously, Salah's going as well and stuff like that. But I don't know. For me, Robertson's got a very strong link to like the beginnings of the Klopp era. I don't know how much you paid for him, but
it was about £6 or £8 million. Like there is an argument, pound for pound. I mean, Sammy Hippier was £4 million, but for everything Robertson did, man, £8 million for what became a world-class player. That is
fantastic. I mean, I think we should be getting a fee. I think we should be getting a fee. I'm happy for him to stay. I can see why he wants to go, but since he's come back into the team, he brings a calmness. He brings leadership. I mean, Kirkus for me is the future Liverpool. I've got no worries about that. But I miss the days when you'd have literally two players competing for the same position.
Yeah,
you can actually, start each game.
Yeah.
Him going for me, I still think he's probably close to being still at the top of his game. Obviously, he misses a bit of pace, but the game intelligence, that makes up for it for me. And his all-round performance the last couple of games has been fantastic. I'm really going to miss him, and I'm really glad he got that Anfield goal on the weekend, which he deserved.
Absolutely, I do think the Robertson one's interesting. I remember when we were discussing in January, and I was clearly wrong because even in January, I was like, Spurs makes sense for him. They're not going to go down. Eventually, they'll sort it out. So actually, it's good he didn't go to Spurs, and he's not having to deal with that mess. I do think that, like you said, I don't have any worries about Kirkers, and I think that's the issue. It's like at the start of the season, obviously Kirkers needed time to bed in, and it's ironic because Kirkers probably played through worse form than he should have.
Yeah,
but I think Slot managed him really well. Whereas now, Kirkers can also know, do you know what? Our season's pretty much done. Robertson's going to start the games at Anfield. He's going to get the reception. I'll start the away games, but I know that I'm the number one next season. So I think it's one of those. I've been consistent on this. I think for me, it's okay to say goodbye sometimes. I think it's always better to go at the right time than a season too late. And like you said, Robbo's pace has dropped off for the high levels that we're used to. Obviously, he was motivated. We showed that on the weekend. But I'm like, you know what? You've done absolutely everything. This club, they've all got to go at some point, and we're going to talk about Alisson, for example, in a second. And we need to spread out actually when they're leaving. But I think, Robertson, if that's his last goal at Anfield, which it almost certainly is, like you said, great ovation that he got from the crowd, great send off, and we'll still be able to celebrate him for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So shout out to all the YouTube watchers as well. Send your comments. Let us know your thoughts on the game. Let us know your thoughts on the players, anything LSE related. And don't forget to subscribe, share, and like. So let's get into the second half then. Let's talk about Salah. 57th minute, a little bit innocuous, just on the edge of the box. He slightly pulled up, but he knew his hamstring had gone.
Yeah.
It's really it's sad if this is his last game for Liverpool to go out like that. He had a look on his face, and I think players know their bodies. Players know, do you know what? That doesn't feel right. That might be a couple of weeks. And I think he was doing the maths as he was coming off. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to be back in 3 or 4 weeks. He's also going to be thinking about the World Cup. We are seeing a lot of injuries picked up. Xavi Simons has got one. Jamal's got one. Militao's got one. A lot of players who played a lot of minutes are starting to pick up injuries. So there might be a little bit of self-preservation. But it was sad to see him, tweak his hamstring, and hopefully that's not his last game, right?
Yeah, I mean, Salah knows his body. You can tell. There's still a part of me is thinking maybe it's more precautionary, and it might not be as serious as we've made out. I don't know if there's any latest news on the injury, but obviously he's probably thinking, do I want to risk it to say goodbye and then I miss out on the World Cup? So I get it. Probably that could be his last game for Liverpool. I'm hopeful that it's not, This guy heals fast. To be fair, let's not.
He does absolutely. Yeah, he does.
Superhuman. Literally, he will get an injury within 2 or 3 days. He's back. But considering what's at stake, I wouldn't be surprised if he does go. But at least, yes, he didn't score, but he played his part in terms of the first goal.
Played his part. Well, I'm sorry, I did skip over it. What were your thoughts on the non-penalty to Brennan Johnson?
Yeah, it wasn't a penalty.
Yeah, Johnson got the ball, didn't he?
Yeah, it wasn't a penalty, and I wasn't surprised. It was in real time. I knew it was gonna get overturned because I don't know what's with Liverpool at the moment, but when it comes to these penalty decisions, you kind of know it's gonna get.
They're not falling our way
at all. So I wasn't actually that surprised, and like I said, they got to the right decision in the end. But yeah, the last few games he played really well. He's contributed with assists and goals. So in that sense, if it is his last appearance, he can definitely say he's delivered in that sense. So I just hope it's not. There's a part of me that I wouldn't be surprised if we get a substitute appearance in the last game of the season. That's my inkling.
I think you're right. I think at this point we're looking at that last game of the season now. We've got Brentford at home. We'll talk about the top 5 race and the race for the Champions League. But with our fixtures coming up, playing the teams around us, I think you're right. We're hoping to get a Salah cameo on that last day. He deserves the biggest of send-offs. I think, despite how his season's gone, despite everything that might have happened between him and the manager, I think he needs to feel that adulation and love from the club. So hopefully that is not the last time we've seen Mo Salah in the Liverpool shirt. But Liverpool manager Arne Slot that said that hopefully it's not too serious and he's hoping he'll be back before the end of the season. The Egypt national team doctor who also tweeted, because again, they're thinking about the World Cup, but they said that they think it'll be about 2 to 3 weeks. Who knows? I don't know how quickly he might have gotten information, although I'm sure Salah would have. It's probably the second person he messaged, when he got onto his phone. So hopefully 2 to 3 weeks, we can hopefully get him for that last game of the season, and he can have the mother of all send-offs, as will Andy Robertson and maybe a couple of others. So that was the 57th minute. We come to the 71st minute. Like you said, the game, it's plodding along. I was with you. I was like, we're 2-0 up. We're not really being threatened. Hopefully, this will be a nice, calm afternoon. Just like Fulham, I was like, this feels like the Fulham game. I'm getting a bit of deja vu, a bit of, looking pretty decent. But on the 71st minute, our kryptonite, Ismaila Sarr. He goes through on goal. He beats the offside trap, and he nearly nicks it past Freddie Woodman. Freddie Woodman comes out really quickly, but it looks like he jars his knee slightly on the pitch, and he goes down. Now, what then happened next, I think I really want to get your views on this, and we'll try and be as objective as possible. But the keeper's clearly down. He's not up. He's feeling pain, and he's holding his leg. You can see that immediately. And Daniel Munoz floats it into an empty net, and that made the game 2-1. That put it on, put the game on a bit of a knife edge. But what were your thoughts about that whole incident? And do you think play should have stopped? Should the referee have stopped it? Should the Palace players have kicked it out? Maybe the Liverpool players, should they have just run back to the line, James Milner style? What do you think of that incident, and how do you think maybe we could have preserved Freddie Woodman's clean sheet?
Yeah, great save by Woodman, by the way.
Yeah, it was a good save. It came out really well for it. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's an absolute disgrace. I think the referee had a poor game throughout, if I'm being honest with you. I mean, I don't blame the Palace player for scoring. It's a good shot, by the way.
It was.
He's playing to the whistle, and maybe he didn't realise, although I'm pretty sure he did. But for me, sportsmanship is a very important aspect of our game. And I feel that when a goalkeeper's down, and even if Liverpool in that situation, I would expect them to say, stop the game. Even if the referee doesn't have the nous to blow his whistle, you stop the game. That famous incident with Di Canio, West Ham. He just grabbed the ball, said, that's it. The goalkeeper's down. And oddly enough, if that ball's probably anywhere else in the pitch and someone goes down, the referee stops the game. And what's annoying is that when you see players take advantage of that rule, the referee is quick to blow the whistle, stop the game. This goalkeeper, clearly, you see his leg jarred. He's clearly not making it up. He's clearly gone down and injured because he can't walk. There's no reason why he wouldn't try and get the ball, knowing the danger that's going to involve in terms of the goal scoring position. So I felt, on the whole, the referee really, really done a terrible job there. The Palace players, because it happened so quickly, I can't really blame them in that sense. I feel that they've obviously thought, well, I'm just going to play to the whistle. But for me, it's a difficult one. I mean, I'm surprised that goal was allowed to stand. I actually thought what would happen is that maybe they may say to Palace, look, this is what's happening. You go and score a goal, and then we'll start again. That didn't happen. I think the fact that not so much was ride on it helps the situation.
Wasn't it though? I don't know. 20 minutes to go, and you get 2-1 back in. You're going to get a second wind.
Yeah. I think because my head is like, I think we've got Champions League qualification now. I'm not particularly worried. If that happened 2 weeks ago, then for me, I'm taking it to Parliament. All hell breaks loose because I think that could be stolen. But in the context of the game, yes, the referee should have stopped it. The Palace players probably should have stopped it. Really, it hasn't. Luckily, it didn't have a detrimental effect on us. But I think this is something that VAR can maybe intervene as well. I know VAR are only supposed to be there to correct decisions by the referee, but I think the referee has the power to stop the game. He didn't. Maybe VAR could have said something. Look, it's clear that the goalkeeper was injured, a legitimate injury. You should have stopped the game. Overrule the goal. And I don't think Palace would have complained. I don't know. I don't think Palace would have complained.
So interestingly, like you say about whether the Palace players saw it, the manager came out and he tried to defend Munoz. Naturally, he said, "Look, there's no way that the player's seen it in that time." I don't know. I watched it back and I watched it again this afternoon just to double check, and it did look like he had enough time to consider whether he was going to cross or shoot. But I agree with I'm not actually blaming the Palace players. You got to play to the whistle.
Yeah.
But do you think it's a bit indicative? I'm going to take it to a bit of a wider point. Time wasted in football. Obviously, it was a legitimate injury, but we're seeing this in football. Players and people go down really easily. And, I'm trying to be as objective as possible because, for example, we had the Conor Bradley thing and the Martinelli thing. Keepers have been time wasting this weekend. We saw it Robert Sanchez for Chelsea and Leeds weren't happy. And we're seeing some of this time wasting. So do you think that maybe there's something that football just needs to do so that when someone goes down and it looks legit, people then think, okay, no, that's legit. Like you said, where's the respect? Being a gentleman sport. Do you think there's something in there where we give the Palace players a bit of a pass because we have been seeing a lot this? It seems more than every other season, but we're seeing a lot of gamesmanship as well.
We have seen a lot of gamesmanship this season than previous seasons. But I think if you take that incident in isolation, it's clear that goalkeeper is genuinely injured. I mean, I've seen defenders go down. You think, you're not really injured. But the ball's in play and it's a goal scoring position. There's no reason why a goalkeeper would feign that injury. Because that's why I'm really disappointed with the referee, because I think you've got a clear line to it. You can see what's happening in real time and you can see there's a legitimate injury. Why have you allowed the game to continue? And like I said, the referee had a poor game in the way throughout. It was constantly stopping the game for Palace players.
It was
for less. So that's why I was very frustrated. I thought, okay, you've set a precedent now in terms of you're willing to stop the game. But here you got a legitimate injury and you haven't, and it's a goalkeeper.
And it's a goalkeeper as well.
If it's a builder, I can get it. But if it's a goalkeeper, the ball's in play in around the penalty area, you have to stop it.
Shout out to all of the people watching on YouTube. We've got Mr. Drew. He agrees it was not a disgrace for real. Shout out to Mr. Drew. Thanks for listening. We'll be back in your capable hands for the next episode, I'm sure. But yeah, it caused a bit of a debate. And I watched Ref Watch this morning, and there was, do you remember, I think it's about 2 years ago, Arsenal Man United, where De Gea went down and the ref did blow the whistle right as Odegaard was shooting. So again, it's that inconsistency thing, isn't it? Of like you said, maybe the ref just has to react just a lot quicker, and we'll see. Because like you said, we don't want something like that happening in the World Cup. And then I think your point about VAR, VAR can't intervene with something like that. So actually,
they should do. Yeah, but I mean, like I said, if there's more wide on it, if that's a Arsenal Man City, title decider, that can have huge ramifications. Maybe it doesn't stop the game. I don't know.
Yeah, you never know. And then briefly, so the reason why I said that, actually there was a lot riding on it. In the 83rd minute, Strand Larsen, who's come on as a substitute, he thought he'd beat the offside trap. He takes it just to the left of the goal, and it just hits the post. Thankfully, he was offside, and it did hit the post. But there was a bit of a warning sign there. And actually, as we look at some of the stats, Crystal Palace had more shots on target than Liverpool. They actually had 7 shots on target. So, I don't know. For a while I was with you, like, okay, it's quite comfortable, but the fact it was 2-1, and then they're getting that chance, and we've still got about 10 minutes left. I keep saying every time we come on this pod, I'm just like, I don't understand what's going on at the back and this concentration. Talk me through those last 10 minutes of like, were you really confident, or did you think if Palace get a chance and it's 1-on-1, they might have a shot on goal? And we just had so many late goals this season. What were your thoughts on that?
I was still confident because I thought there was still enough in the game for us to be more adventurous. Like I said, I don't know if it was like an end of season feel to it, but Palace always give us hard matches anyway. It's almost like you expect them to have chances, you expect them to kind of dominate us, but have periods of the game where they're going to control the game. I don't know if it's because of the Woodman effect, but I was confident that even if Palace scored, we were going to get another one.
We're going to get another one.
And I think with Liverpool at the moment, sometimes they're quite reactive to games as well in real time. But Strahla's chance, I actually thought that was in.
It looked like it was just going to creep in.
That was good. I like this season. Usually that's off the post in the net. Then, so obviously we were due a bit of luck, to be fair. But like I said, I was confident even if that goal went in, I just had a feeling we weren't going to lose that game. Or draw that game. I just thought we were going to get back. Yeah. And it was like a wake-up call as well. I think sometimes this team, it needs to almost either concede a goal or being close to conceding a goal to then react to it. So in some ways, I kind of think we needed that really, because we did kind of finish stronger.
Yeah, I agree, and I think sometimes, but that's kind of what my problem has been. That why do we need a goal or a clear chance for the shot in the arm? I think it's one of the things I really want to see differently next year, and I'm sure Konate is about to renew his contract. I'm sure they'll announce that before the end of the season. But I think, and I'm not saying that chance specifically was on Konate. I mean, it was on his side, but try and last and beat the trap, that can happen. I do think that we need to be a lot smarter at the back, because I just think, why give ourselves the stress? And like you said, the way our season's been going, I was at Selhurst Park when it did go that way really late on. And, we saw then that string of games where we just kept conceding late. So thankfully, just like last week, we were the ones that got the injury time goal. And on the 95th minute, we've got possession. And actually, Subside's got possession in the middle of the pitch. And you're thinking, okay, you can just see it out now. But he's like, no, let's go a bit more forward. He floats the ball out to the right wing and we get a throw on. A long Joe Gomez throw, which he's getting quite good at, actually. It's a real opportunity, real bullets, and he throws it right into McAllister, who again is in the right place. Interesting, I thought it was being fouled. I actually thought it was being dragged, as being fouled. But what helped is he had a bit of a layoff to Florian Wirtz, who very cute finish, very nice instinctive finish. Again, I'm liking what I liked from our two, record signings. They didn't have to think about it. The ball dropped, and their quality showed there. And Florian Wirtz's shot there, I think it was really good for him to get a goal, just to get something, because he's played the last couple of weeks. He's not played that badly actually, but it's not been, we've not seen the production from that. So I'm really glad that he got that goal to sum up what was a good performance from him, which takes him to 17 goals and assists for the season. Not too shabby for a flop. Not too shabby. Yeah, exactly. It's 17 now, all competitions, yes, but it is 17.
I'll take that.
He plays in all competitions, so we'll judge him in all competitions. So his 17th goal and assist for the season. He might finish the season on 20. We'll take that for a first season. But again, talk me through the finish. Again, the quality of the finish from Florian Wirtz. Talk me through that.
Fantastic finish. What I like about it as well, you've touched upon it as well, it's that end product with Wirtz now that we're seeing, because a lot of time he's got himself in positions like that before, and it's just that final moment where literally he's done that kind of delicate outside of the boot, and it's kind of hasn't kind of come off. This time it was like, have it. He's like, I'm just gonna leather it. He's got like top bins, killed him beautifully, and that's what he needs to do more of, because we know this guy, he has got a shot on him, and I don't think, a bit like McAllister, he doesn't utilize it enough for me. And that shot was just wicked. It's like, okay, no, I'm gonna kill the game now. It's done. go home, bang. And the celebration as well. I don't know if you noticed, he kind of went back twice to the Kop.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
to take that adulation, and I think that's probably his first goal since January. I think.
First goal, yeah, I think Leeds. I think something like that, wasn't it? Leeds or Sunderland. One of those teams around the Christmas.
Yeah. The injury hasn't helped. I think that back injury. I don't know how serious it was, but clearly, it's affected him since he's come back because he hasn't been the same Wirtz really. And it was almost like I'm going to bask in this. And which he deserved. He didn't have the best of games, to be fair. In and out of the game, he's obviously distribution was a bit off and he didn't hold it sometimes. But I think with quality players like Wirtz, that will do him the world of good for me. And he does it for Germany week in and week out, which is another thing really. That
has been the most frustrating thing. We'll have a Wirtz performance that you're wondering, and then international, but he scored in like 30 seconds in this game. He's got 2 assists in the other. He's scoring. I think he scored a hat trick in the last one. He's been killing it for Germany.
He's been killing it.
Absolutely killing it. And then
and his goals have come from positions where he's actually in the same position as Liverpool as well. There's this this narrative, Germany are playing him a different position, and that's why they're getting. But if you look at the goals he's scoring in, he's pretty much in the same position for the Liverpool shirt. Maybe. Again, it's a transitional season, so I get it. But it was great on the weekend to see him just literally level a ball back in the net, top bins. Goalkeeper had no chance, and
no chance. Yeah. And that did finish the game, killed off the game. Nice 3-1 win for Liverpool. We finally got to beat Crystal Palace in a game this season at the 5th time of asking. I only want to play them twice next year. I don't want to see them in the cups. I don't want to see them in anything. Just twice, home and away. Saturday 3 o'clock. I don't even want it on TV. I don't want anyone to see it. I just want us to just go in and do some business. But yeah, on that note, so Wirtz, you're still you put your hat on the line with Isak coming good next year. You're still putting your hat on the line for Florian Wirtz Ballon d'Or. How many years are we giving? I can give you more leading time for Wirtz because he's younger. So how many years are we talking for the Ballon d'Or?
Obviously, if we win the World Cup this summer for Germany. We could be talking
months. Their best player. Yeah.
We could be talking months, not years. So I'll put that one in there. But like for me, we all know Wirtz's qualities. Yes, he hasn't had the best of season. To be fair, he hasn't been. There's mitigation there, as we already touched upon before. This season, I think, will be the maker of him because it's been that tough physically, mentally. He's in a better place, I think, next season, especially if he has a really good World Cup to come back and smash it. So I've got again, the price tag for me, it's a lot of money. FSG ain't dumb. If FSG are spending that kind of money on one player, or 2 players, I should say, you almost know they're going to be a success. Youth is on his side as well. And I know, obviously, Turkey is getting all this praise and getting all these TikTok views and all these highlights. And that look at Turkey. Look, let's see how both careers progress in the next 2 to 3 years. Because for me, I'm not in it for one guy that's got one good album. I'm looking for a series of smash hits. And I think with Wirtz at the moment, he's had a tough season. As you mentioned, 17 goal involvements in a tough season. As bad as that, for me, speaks volumes. For me, he speaks volumes.
Yeah.
He never shied away. He's always turned up. I know he's had injuries, but he's always looking for the ball. And for me, I think you learn more about your player during tough times.
Yeah.
And I think we've learned a lot about Wirtz this season. In terms of his bravery, and in terms of him wanting the ball and trying to carry the team, and hopefully next season, we'll stand him in good stead. But yeah, I've got no concerns about him, and I think hopefully people look back on my Ballon d'Or.
You will
Michael was the first.
When he wins it, you will just play the clip. This should be you should be invited.
Exactly. Look, the talent is there. The talent is there. And it's not me that's saying it. If you look at the players, the managers that
said it. Of course.
Quick Klopp even said words like he's a once in a lifetime generational talent.
Yeah.
And look at the players that Klopp's seen. So he's lauded by Germany as the main man that's going to win in the World Cup.
And Bundesliga Player of the Year at his age as well. Winning titles and
in that team by Leverkusen. So for me, you don't go from that to being a flop. So that's why I think, if we're patient with him, if we build a team around him, hopefully he'll have like some still next to him in midfield. That will help, and some fast wingers on the wings, and a fit Isak. For me, that's the ingredients there. He's already cooking. I reckon next season we're going to see the a la carte of football, man. I've got no hesitations.
Yeah. Well, I sincerely hope you're right. Someone who's probably not going to get a goal anytime soon, Joe Gomez, Mr. Drew, and all our YouTube viewers. Thanks for watching. Mr. Drew asking when is Joe Gomez going to score, though? Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know if you're putting your hat on the line for that one.
Yeah, no, I don't envision that ever happening. I mean, like I said, he's probably going to go in the summer. I'd love it if he was to score, especially at Anfield. It's got to be at Anfield.
That would be top. That would just be perfect.
I mean, Gomez probably thinking I'll score anywhere, but it has to. Be, you know, we build it up so much, so let's hope. But yeah, he's got to be fit first, isn't he?
There you go. He's got to be fit and playing. Yeah, there you go. Brilliant. So that does wrap up the game, but off the pitch, but still at the game, in the 13th minute, the local fans held a protest. They've been talking about the protest of not spending a pound in the ground. They've not been waving the flags before the games. And in the 13th minute, we had yellow cards raised as a caution and warning to FSG about the proposed increase for the next 3 years on the ticket prices. Liverpool fans are not happy. Spirit of Shankly Group have been leading the protest. And it's fair to say that the vast majority of that stadium held out cards. I would generally say it was about 80+%. Even some in the Crystal Palace area were holding up some cards. So I think one of the key things that the protests also wanted to highlight, that it was not just a vocal minority of hardline, supporters groups. No, I think the protest really did come across. I know Billy Hogan was in the crowd. He fronted up. Got to give props. He fronted up. He was at the game. And we knew the protest was going to happen. He recently sent an email out to all the members and season ticket holders to try to get ahead of it. That might have blown up in their faces. But yes, that is something to definitely keep an eye on. They said they're going to keep it going for the next couple of games until the end of the season to hope to reverse the increase from the club. So we will see probably some more protests in our next 2 home games. But yeah, Mark, I don't know if you want to add anything on the protests and the views on the proposed ticket increase.
Yeah, I mean, FSG needs to sort it out, really. It needs to sort it out. I mean, I did say it at the time. I feel the the amount of money they're going to raise from this season ticket price, it's not even worth it. It's not even worth it. I mean, I feel that this is a league issue. It's not just a Liverpool issue. Ticket prices are too expensive. And what I love about Liverpool Football Club is if they were to take a stance and say, well, you know what, actually, we're going to protect the fans. And we're going to protect ticket prices and ensure it's affordable for, our generation, for the younger generation to go to. So, what we don't want is this to carry through to next season as well. That's my only concern. It needs to be sorted out now. I'm glad Billy was there at the stadium to see it, and what we want now is for the Liverpool Supporters Club and FSG to meet and to sort this mess out. My views, same as you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ticket prices shouldn't be hiked. I think Liverpool should really be leaders in this campaign in supporting price tickets and making sure it's affordable. And by any means, this needs to be resolved before the new season starts, because we don't want this to go through to next season. God forbid we have a bad start, and then
it's all the noise, the manager, the crowd, all of that stuff.
It's something that we don't need. It's negative we don't need. And like I said, it's clearly not worth, I should say, the hassle in the amount of money they're going to raise from this.
£1.2 million for all of this.
Come on. Exactly. But I can definitely support and understand the reasons why season ticket holders are against it, because where does it stop? Unless you take a stand like they did when they wanted to raise ticket price to £77.
£77, exactly. Yeah.
We nipped that in the bud. Hopefully we can have the same impact here. And FSG know full well everyone's suffering with energy prices, cost of living, etc. So I know Liverpool are one of the franchises that can actually swallow that. They don't need to push that burden onto fans, especially with the amount of money they generate. And we all know the COP make football. The fans make football. Without the fans, you don't have a franchise. You don't have one of the most, I think, number one in the world. So you've got to protect the fans.
Yeah, absolutely. And we all absolutely agree. Just before we go, we'll round up on and do a preview, because unfortunately Liverpool are not in the Champions League. So we do not have a midweek pod this week, unfortunately. We're going to be watching it with it like everyone else. But that win, coupled with Aston Villa's loss just at the lunchtime against Fulham, left Liverpool in 4th position. So they're level with Aston Villa on points, but Liverpool have the superior goal difference. And at the time of recording, before Man United played the Monday Night Football, we are also level on points with Man United. We're level on goal difference, but they've scored one more goal, and they've got obviously this game in hand. So that sets it up really nicely for our next couple of fixtures. So we'll go just this week. Sunday tea time. It is still the biggest game in the league, and alongside El Clasico, the biggest game in the world, as far as I'm concerned. Liverpool versus Man United. It's a real shootout. I mean, I've been saying for months now. For me, it doesn't matter third or fifth, but that's when we were like chasing fifth and trying to get in. Now that we're there, I want to finish third. I want to beat Man United, beat Chelsea the week after, beat Aston Villa, and then that Brentford game can be a celebration. So what are your thoughts ahead of Liverpool versus Man United on Sunday? Obviously, we have not watched Man United versus Brentford. So let's hope, assuming they lose 5-0 in that game, what are your thoughts on how that's going to go?
Yeah. I'm actually looking forward to it, actually. Salah's not going to be there. Oh, we believe Salah's not going to be there.
Salah's not going to be. I think we can certainly say Salah's not going to be there.
That's really shame. I'm looking forward to it because I'm not stressed about it, which is great. I fancy us to win. I think as bad a season that Liverpool have had, these are the games, as you mentioned, Sam, we look forward to. These are our games. Our Trafford is our home lately. I'm looking forward to going there and putting on a performance and let them know the levels, because we are still the champions. Let's not the champions until the end of the season. So we need to represent and go there. And that Man United team have been fortunate, I would say, in the sense of they've had one season. I think they had one game a week since September.
Since November, really? Like and I'm hearing shouts of Bruno for playing. I'm like, listen, if Florian Wirtz was playing once every 3 weeks, he would also be up. Like, come on, let's be serious.
Come on. So I'm looking forward to it. I think the pressure's on Man United because, like I said, we've had the worst probably starts since I think 1953. We've had all we know about the mitigations. We don't have to go over there. So literally, we should be, although we're probably not going to be the underdog, but we should be the underdogs going to Old Trafford. They're ahead of us. They should be looking to lay their mark. I still fancy us because I see weaknesses across that whole Man United team. Really, I watched the game against Leeds. I know they had a man sent off, but even before then, I thought to myself, this team is top 3. Man, I want them to get in Champions League so I can see them get smashed. So I think Slot, if he releases the handbrake, which he has to now anyway.
Yes, now there's nothing to lose.
There's nothing to lose now. I'm confident we'll win. We'll win. That the only thing that I would obviously be concerned about is that obviously that's Salah's match, and when Salah goes to Old Trafford, he generally scores. He generally, I think is it one of the highest?
I think it's 5th highest, and since he joined.
So it's
more than most of their strikers.
That's a shame. Perfect game to start Rio though. Just saying. But
he's gonna have to start at this point.
I think Rio starting. Why not? I think that's going to be an open game, and I think Man United, I think for once, will go for it as well. I don't think they'll be as defensive as they were in the Anfield game, which they won, and we owe them from Anfield when they beat us.
We owe them, for what that happened.
So we can't have that. So I think it sets up really nicely. Odd time to kick off. I think it's 3:30 kickoff.
It's 3:30 rather than 4:30. It's a bit.
Time. But
and then what? And it's also meant, and this is actually the previous point about fans. I think it's now meant that Aston Villa, because they're in Europa, they're now playing 7 p.m. on a Sunday.
Oh gosh!
And then there's also bank holiday Monday games, and it's like we've got to do better than this. Like we didn't need to have Man United Liverpool at 3:30 in the middle. Like it just makes sense.
It's ridiculous. But and I'm confident. I think we can nail third.
You got a score prediction for us?
I think there'll be goals both ends. I think we'll sneak it 2-1.
2-1. I think I'll go 2-1 as well. I'd love another Isak goals just so we can get into a run of scoring. That would be good if we can get another Isak goal. And I agree that with Chelsea and Villa's form really dropping off, it's taken the pressure off Liverpool and Man United. Not too much because they also can't get complacent. No. But Man United beat Chelsea the other week. We've got Chelsea in a couple of weeks. Aston Villa, they're gonna, they've got Europa League this Thursday and next. They're gonna think, well, if we win the next 3 games, we're definitely in the Champions League. And if we distract ourselves with the other 4 games, we may not be in the Champions League. So it's a non-starter there. Chelsea, they finally won a game, post Rossini. They've got a cup final to look forward to, and they're like, you know what, we're going to be in Europe anyway, so let's get that. So this is really a bragging rights for Liverpool Man United, and hopefully it will be an open game. I'm going 3-1. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it.
You know what? They tend to be. We don't want to jinx it now, but they tend to be high-scoring goals.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
At Trafford, they do tend to be high-scoring games at Old Trafford in particular. Yeah. So that's not unrealistic. I'm going for 2-1.
If they come up and they open up, then
they have to take it. They have to. Man United, I don't think they can, because there's not much at stake. So I think for them, and because they probably want to do the double over us.
Yeah, they'll really want to do that.
You know, that could
just like we wanted to in the early 2000s when we were crap. We were like, right, Danny Murphy, go score there.
Exactly.
Reece to score at Anfield.
Those were days. And that for Carrick as well, that could probably give him the job. Yeah. You know, so I'm sure Carrick will love nothing more than to put one over Liverpool. So yeah, I think I'll go for 2-1, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's 3-1. There's going to be goals.
There's going to be goals.
Yeah.
We can agree. And shout out to JSS in the comments as well, who rightly says Old Trafford need to give Mo Salah a standing ovation for old time's sake and to recognise his goal-scoring feats at Old Trafford. I thought we should take him. Just take him anyway. They need to recognise greatness.
He'll want to come for the trip.
He'll definitely want to. It's just down the road. Why not, right? Brilliant. So that is where Liverpool are now, firmly in the top 4 in the hunt for Champions League, and hopefully going to see the season out. And very briefly on the Champions League, and because we're not in it anymore, we can watch it objectively. What are your thoughts? We've got what I actually like. I can generally watch this as a neutral, and we've got 2 different types of games. And actually, what I really like is how they've matched up and how it's obviously I wanted it to be Liverpool, but as a neutral, I'm going to enjoy PSG versus Bayern. Yeah. And then weirdly, I'm also going to enjoy Arsenal versus Atletico Madrid for totally different reasons, but at least like the teams are quite well matched. So just very briefly, what are you thinking for the Champions League games? PSG, Bayern Munich, as well as Arsenal versus Atletico Madrid.
Yeah, good point. I think they're both fantastic games for different reasons, really. I think PSG and Bayern, you got in my opinion, eventual winners, shall we say. Whoever wins that one, we're going to win it. And I think literally it's the tide around, because I think the attacking players on point for Bayern and PSG is going to be goals, and it's going to be fantastic to watch. I think Atletico and Arsenal is going to be a more, how should I put it, tactical affair.
Tactical. We'll go with tactical.
Yeah, very tactical affair with that one. But also for me, I'm going to find it very intriguing to watch. You know, I think the pressure's on Arsenal really, and I think literally we'll find out what kind of mettle Arsenal have in that game. Really, Simeone's team are dogged. But they've got that Lookman up front that can literally on a sixpence turn a game.
Lookman, Alvarez, Griezmann's last swan song. I love their midfield as well. I do, you know, he's got his son in there, but I love their midfield. They've still got very good players. So
and they've got a really good goalkeeper as well.
Of course,
really good goalkeeper.
Yeah.
That one for me is hard to call. Very hard to call. I'll go PSG.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Athletic, tough, but I'm going to go for Athletic.
Interesting. I don't know. Do you know what? I remember when you all asked me in October when I was saying, when we said about in the Champions League, and I said Arsenal Bayern. Obviously, I don't want Arsenal to win the Champions League, to be honest. But do you know what? I think you're right, because Arsenal up front recently, it's not looked good. Like, it's not looked jointed enough. They've been playing within themselves. So yeah, I think Simeone will have something for Arsenal. I think it's his last. I think he's announced that he's leaving as well. So, you know, it's his last swan song. They're firmly 4th and they're about 8 points in the lead, so they can fully concentrate on the league. Whereas Arsenal will have a decision to make on the weekend about players. A lot of their players are now getting to 50 games because they got to the final of the Carabao, they got to the quarters of the FA Cup, and they're obviously still in the Champions League. They're going to have some decisions to make about fitness and selection. So I think that might make it a bit interesting. That might be a bit of a leveler. And PSG Bayern, if I can see what I saw from, you know, their last couple of games of just like goals and just both go for it, then yeah, I'll have that. I think Bayern might do it this year. I do think Bayern might do it. Yeah, I'm gonna go Bayern just to say something different. But I think I agree with you that the winner's coming from PSG or Bayern.
Yeah, and I say that because I hope the winners do come from.
Yeah, for football.
For football reasons, they play the game the right way. It's exciting. You know, Atletico Madrid and Arsenal for me are the opposite of that.
They're anti-football.
They're anti-football really. And so, I mean, to be fair, Atletico Madrid's game against Barcelona was actually pretty good.
It was, yeah. That's because they know them so well, so they knew to.
Yeah, that was actually a really, really good match, and Barcelona were very unlucky to lose it, but it was actually a really, really good match. But generally speaking, Atletico Madrid generally aren't that, and that's why it's going to be interesting to see what Arsenal do. I think Arsenal are going to have to come out.
They're going to have to.
I don't think they can rely on this set piece, give up possession. Otherwise, the ball's not going to travel very far. You know what I mean? So they're going to have to come out and take risks and start with a striker. So I think it's on a knife edge, that one.
Yeah. Well, we shall be watching as observers because unfortunately Liverpool are not in the Champions League anymore. But after beating Crystal Palace 3-1 at Anfield and getting firmly in that 4th position above Aston Villa, and with the Man United game to come, we're feeling very confident about being in the Champions League next year. So fingers crossed, and hopefully we get that win on Sunday.
Yes. Fingers crossed.
So we've thanks for joining us, everyone on YouTube. Again, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, send it to your Arsenal friends. Tell them that we dissed them. That will get our views up. If you've got any Atletico Madrid friends as well. And thank you to Mike for joining this evening to review the Crystal Palace vs Liverpool game, and also a bit of a preview for Liverpool Man United later this week. I've been Mr. Samage. Thanks for joining, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe. And well, we don't have Jazz on the podcast, and usually JSS is the backup. But Mike, can you give us a 5 stars? There you go. Don't forget your 5 stars for the podcast, and we will see you soon on the LFC Agenda.